you've never been hitchhiking before, but you kind of want to do it, kind of want to try it out, but you just don't really know how to get started.
Why are we laughing? I don't know.
This will help you.
Help me help you. Help her. So these are the most valuable tips that we can share with you as pretty much hitchhiking professionals.
I mean, like, I would call myself one. So the first thing you need to know before you start backpacking or before you start hitchhiking is pack light. Everybody will tell you that. If you've never been backpacking or hitchhiking before, you will probably not listen, because why would you? You're like, I'm packing light, I'm having this 17-kilo backpack, and then after a few weeks you will say like, oh, I hate myself for bringing all that stuff, and the next time you will bring less and less until you eventually just bring a toothbrush, because that's pretty much everything you need. So pack light, but bring a relatable item. That always helps with hitchhiking. It kind of makes you look less like a serial killer, more like a actual human being. And you know, maybe you have a skateboard and they're like, oh, I'm a skater, like I have to help this fellow skater out, or like, oh, he's a guitar player, I really need to help him because I play guitar myself, or I don't know, just something where they think, oh, this is a nice person, I kind of need to help her.
The next thing you have to consider is where you hitchhike. Either hitchhike on the street or at somewhere like a gas station. But when you're at a gas station is that you can actually approach people and talk to them and introduce yourself and kind of break the ice. The other key thing to make sure that you choose a gas station in a good location. If you're in the middle of a town or a city at a gas station, you can pretty much bet that no one is going out of the city in your direction. And people sometimes prefer to be approached by someone that's nice and seems genuine.
Because they then all of a sudden see like, oh, this is actually a nice person, why not take them? Earlier we were at the petrol station. I asked a lady really nicely like, oh, do you have a second? You know, we're just hitchhiking through the country. Oh, no hitchhiker, no hitchhiker, oh my god, no hitchhiker. If you decide to not go to a petrol station because, I don't know, you don't feel confident enough, or there's no petrol station available like in that area, and you decide to go on the street or on the side of the street, then you always have to think about the location first. The location is literally the key. It needs to be a really safe spot so you don't get hit, and for a car to stop so the car doesn't get hit when it stands. As a driver, would you stop at a location where it's dangerous for you to stop just to pick someone up? No. You would stop somewhere where it's super safe, where you can stay for like 10-15 minutes without problem, without getting hit or without getting the police, or you can't stay here. I gotta be honest with you, I've never jumped the barrier on the Autobahn. If police come by, they're definitely gonna kick us out. And the best spot I always find is the entrance of a highway, where the cars go relatively slow, but they go directly into the direction you need to go. Often there are like bus stops just in front of it, or around the curve there's like an emergency line where they can stop. But it always has to be really visible for all the cars, which is so important, otherwise you're not gonna get anybody to stop. So here's quite good, because literally to the right, that's like the the highway to Nijmegen. And here's a bus stop, so people can stop. The thumb is really good because you get people to stop without them even knowing where you need to go. That means they stop and they ask, where do you need to go? And you are like, well, I need to go to that city. And they might be like, well, that's actually not my direction. But in these few minutes, you already have time to kind of get into their heart, you know, be like, oh, but I need help. It will be so awesome. And they're like, oh, I don't need to go that way, but I might drive these extra miles.
Now with the sign, I find it really helpful, and as a driver, I personally find it better if I can see where this person's going, so I know if I can help them or not, rather than stopping and having an awkward discussion of, oh, I better not take you, it's not really going in the right way.
Our chances just grew exponentially.
The other good way is just having a big sign saying west, or you can have funny signs with all sorts of different things on it. We use those a lot. People found them funny. People wanted to stop and ask us where we're going. They wanted to interact with us a lot more just because we had a sense of humor about us, and you could see that. You also get a lot more interaction from the cars, which I find is a bit more of an uplifting feeling, because if you're sitting there with your thumb out on the street and everyone's just looking at you in a weird way or shaking their head, it's a bit deterring, to be honest, especially when you want to smile and feel upbeat. But if they've got a sign up that's funny and people are laughing, putting thumbs up, interacting with you, I find it makes the experience a lot more enjoyable, plus people do stop because they think you're fun.
Yeah, you're having a good time and they're having a good time, and they kind of want to stop just to get your vibe into the car. I also find it helps a lot when you look at drivers in the eyes instead of kind of showing your sign or showing your thumb into like a general traffic direction, because these people feel more pressured and they like right away feel like, oh, she's directly talking to me and I should maybe stop, instead of like looking to all of them and nobody really feels like responsible for me. You know what I mean? One thing we always do, and it helps us so much, is smile and especially entertain. do something, like dance, juggle, like make fun, like do funny poses, do your handstand, like I don't know, run around, so it looks like you're having the best time ever. And the driver wants you to be in the car to bring like that atmosphere in that. So we had, for example, what is that?
Party, man.
We, for example, had one time that an elderly couple drove by us, and then they took the first Autobahn access and came all the way around, like a round trip of like 20 minutes to pick us up because we looked fun. Like literally, I usually dance and Matt juggles, or we both kind of jump around and do like weird routines of like like I don't know, something which looks fun, something which makes the driver look at you and be like, oh, these people are crazy, but I kind of like them, you know?
I can relate to that weirdo.
Yeah, right? Makes you look less like a serial killer and more like a funny, poor backpacker who are kind of like, my son is one of them, or like, back in the days, I used to hitchhike.
So another key point is don't take every ride.
No, don't. I was like, yes, no, don't.
Like, it's going to be very tempting at times to take rides from people just to go down the road or get from an area which you don't think is that good. If you're in a location and you feel that it's a good location, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of room for a car to stop, and the cars are going in the direction that you want to go, it's much better to decline rides if they're only looking to go a little bit down the road or move away from this location, but not necessarily going to take you a longer distance, or also not even sure where they can take you.
Yeah, we had instances where they're like, I can bring you down the road, and we're like, sweet. And then they're like, well, I think there's a petrol station. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I think I missed the petrol station, so I just drop you off here on the side of the highway where like literally the slowest car goes 100k and there's no way to stop. There was literally like half a meter for us to stand next to the 150 200k's like fast going cars. You know, that's the German Autobahn, they drive like crazies. I don't know what she was thinking, but she meant well. But the problem is, if the driver is not a fellow hitchhiker or has not been like taking hitchhikers for years, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what a good spot for a hitchhiker is. They think, well, anywhere really, right? Because anywhere you can get a ride.
It's closer.
Yeah, they think like, I can bring you 2 minutes down the road. That's closer to your destination. But it's closer in forms of kilometer, but it's shit in forms of stopping or getting a ride. You might better just stay back there. I know it doesn't feel good if you decline rides, especially if you're standing in one location only for like 20 minutes and you're like, come on, I want to ride. But sometimes it's just seriously better. Like, we ended up in the middle of nowhere taking these rides. One more thing, which is not really related to hitchhiking.
One more thing.
Whoa,
don't forget.
Don't be afraid to take the help of other people or free stuff from other people.
Thank you very much. Got a free hat. Oh.
Don't be the one who's like, I don't need that. Like, these people just want to help. They are maybe fellow hitchhiker, they are maybe fellow backpacker, and they know you don't have a lot of money, and they are like, you know, let me invite you for a coffee, or let me invite you for a dinner. You know, I bring you down the road even though I don't have to. Don't be the one who's like, oh, you really don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to bring me even if you don't need to go that way. Be that one who's like, that is very, very kind. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Because these people like to help you. They offer it because they want to. They're not like, ugh, gross, they're so poor, they can't afford, so I might as well help them. They're more like, this is really cool what you're doing, I might have done that when I was younger, or I know somebody who does the same, so I want to help, I want to be part of this.
So move yourself from your ego, and just accept things.
Ego, that's the word I was looking for.
And you open yourself so many doors. There's so many rides which we got extra distance on, and it could have even saved us an hour when you think about how long we might have had to wait at this other location.
Or get like extra food or stuff like that, because honestly that makes your experience as well. So this is basically everything you need to know before you go hitchhiking. If you have any other questions related to backpacking, hitchhiking, how to get a cool beanie like that, just write us in the comments down below.
And make sure you hit that like button if you like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos on travel and things.
Travel and other things.
Anyway, that's it for our video. Bye. Bye.
You are a weirdo.